my world has become very casual, very almost complacent, that I stopped caring, but stopped caring really about how I look and because I'm so concerned with how the customers and how I serve them that I forgot about my physical appearance.
Wow.
Not even
so you
wearing
care
makeup.
about
Even my friends say it. Like
Yeah.
we'll go to dinner and they'll be, oh, she'll be doing a makeup in the taxi, or, they'll jump in the taxi with me. I'll pick them up and they're like, you're not even ready yet. And I'm like, I know, I've been working all day. And it's funny, like they work in a corporate office. They look phenomenal for 8 hours.
Yeah.
And I work in a dress shop. I look horrendous and then have to tizzy up for a 7 to 9 dinner with the girls. And I'm the one that has the fashion boutique. Like I'm the one that's supposed to turn up dressed in the nines and with the accessories. And I'm the one that always looks disheveled with all my bags. And
so what do you care about?
It's mainly about the experience, not what I physically look like, the experience that I provide within the store, that, people walk out and they feel awesome. Because honestly, I feel great with no pants on.
Yeah. I got that.
I know more people can feel great with no pants on. So I feel like I am a mish between that, Celeste Barber, who I just adore, that her vibe. And I know she puts it out into the world very, very boldly and beautifully and super humorously. So I feel there's that. And then I see all these other creators and I just feel like that's, who I am in that sense.
That's so cool.
But I want the customer or whoever I'm interacting with to feel awesome, even though I could be like lately dying inside, or sad, or, whatever. It's how they feel when they come into the store. It doesn't matter how I'm feeling. It's how.
Wow. I totally get that, because I met you for the first time this morning. And even though I know it's been a while, it's been a rough few
weeks.
Yeah. That your energy. Yeah. Well, your energy is really vibrant.
But you know what I've discovered, and I think this is one of your questions, it's a mask. Like as I said, when I first met, I just struggled. I am going to be very open with this because I feel like we don't talk about this enough, like the actual struggle of juggling life and things that are thrown at us and that we just kind of have to, got to get that, got to get that. And you can't kind of sit, I mean, you can, but you can't just sit with your sadness or your overwhelm, or I think that's not really sort of like, no, we got to keep going, let's push through. And, and as I type this to people, and like I've had a lot of outpouring of, and sorry if I do cry, you just beautiful messages. And, but my answer is always, no, I'm going to push through. It's okay. And, like I'm fine, and I'm not really. So I think that's, I really want people to know that it's okay to.
Well, it's really, absolutely. And it's really interesting because, today the podcast is really about you bringing your expertise in being the founder of you call it a dress shop, but it's a boutique called WYLD.
Yeah.
And I'd love to hear, what was that built around? What was your stand for it? And then what's the human part of it? Like what you're talking about now, which is the struggle.
Yeah. Because I think it's all human. Like when people say, oh, business, you have to detach the humanity part to the business part. I mean, that is not who I am.
Yeah.
And so I've struggled with that for 15 years, not being able to, as my lovely pod man would say, addressing kind candor and all these things. I've really struggled because I still to this day, and I've written this down as well, like I don't really see myself as an entrepreneur. I don't call myself a business owner. Like, yes, I own a business, but I don't title myself that. I'm just me doing my thing.
What's your thing?
I'm a salesperson. Like I'm in sales. Like I, love selling clothing and the experience of what being in a boutique is. This is all I've ever known. So I don't really know how to do anything else. But what we just spoke about before about the connection, I just love people. I love people. And not sales in as like, oh, I love to sell this and that. But it's the experience of coming in somewhere. And as an avid shopper as well, just walking into any space, into any space or shop, or I love walking into cold storage.
Yeah.
And that whole experience of consuming, I think, and just people coming into, they might have been working from home all day and they just need to look at pretty things or have a different conversation other than, they could have been on Zoom meetings all day and talking real estate or their own sales or building their own, strategy plans for X, Y, and Z and marketing, advertising, whatever it is.
Well, here's what I love about what you're saying, because what I do is, we shared about this earlier, is the whole ontological piece, right?
Yeah.
Which is the study of being human. And it's like you're bringing human to your work. And it doesn't even sound like it's work to you. It sounds like you're creating a space for people to come and exhale. Maybe
and be themselves,
right?
No judgment. They come in, they want to try things. They just might want to try stuff on and look in the mirror and walk out.
Yeah,
or just I don't know, be chatted to. Like, oh, you want a cup of tea? Or
it's like a mood shifter.
Yeah, because there's so many different humans that walk in.
Yeah,
I kind of see it as being like when we're flying, when we're traveling. We don't know who's on the plane. So many different travelers from all over the world. We don't know why they're on the plane. They could be, they might have just lost a loved one. They might, and they're flying home to bury them, or, they're going to go home to their sick child or animal or something like that. Or they've, been around the world on business meetings, and they're just going to the next stop, or they're taking a vacay, or they're taking that long holiday that they haven't had for the year and they've finally got there. So everybody has this story, and I feel like that's everybody who walks in.
Absolutely. I
love
love
we've got
that.
Tourists, and I love finding out like where people are from. Are they exploring the area? Have they been to Singapore before? Have they been to Ju Chat before? Do they know what's available? So everybody has a different story, even if they're a regular, like a wild one.
Because stories change daily, right?
Absolutely. And I always address like, oh, I haven't seen you in a while. How's the trip to Thailand? Or how was that ball that you went to? How was the dress? Did you wear it?
Oh my God.
It's
so awesome.
It is so awesome. And I think that's the beautiful part that I love about the job. It doesn't feel like work because I just get to meet cool people.
Yeah, you get to wake up in the morning and just meet people and meet them wherever they're at, right? So here's a question for you. WYLD. So that's the name of your boutique,
the
right?
WYLD shop.
Why the WYLD shop? Why, of all the names on the planet, why that?
Well, if we zoom back to 2010, where I started this journey, my husband was like, I'm like, what do I call it? Like, he's like, I don't know. I was like, what do I need to come up with a name? And as I'll just say, I never intended to start a business. I came as a trailing spouse or trailing fiance 15 years ago. Never intended to have a business. I would have thought I'd always work for the man. I would always, because I loved all my jobs. And I, not reluctantly, I won't say reluctantly, I wanted to move to Singapore. But, having been part of a team and having a manager and having a CEO and having all these people part of your world, I never thought that I would be the one to be trying to direct it all from the top. So no intention of starting a business. But he just said, well, think about all of the big brands out there. You're a brand girl. You love your fashion. Like, think about all the big names. Nike, Adidas, all this sort of thing. They're like one word. So try and pick a word that you could feel like that maybe doesn't just encompass like the fashion part, or at the time an agency, I've pivoted a few times, just putting that in there, that could encompass different things than fashion. I was like, okay. And then maybe try and think of a word that's you resonate with. So I love animals. And as I was Googling at the time, I love animals that are, like free in the wild. And then I had this affinity with the animal zebra. And as I was looking through and reading about the zebra, I was like, oh, okay, zebra, stripes, Africa, freedom. Zebras are actually very social creatures, apparently. But each zebra stripe combination they might look the same, but each one is unique. So if I dial back and I just try and talk about it, because I sometimes forget, the uniqueness of each human individual. We are all humans. We all live under the same sun, moon, everything. But we all have different stripes.
So I did not know they were all unique.
All unique. There's no two stripe patterns that are the same.
Right.
So it's kind of like our makeup, like our chromosomes are different, our skin color is different, our face shapes are different, our hair color, everything is made differently. So there's unless you're maybe like a Siamese twin, everything is different to one another. So I thought, okay, so I want people to, I don't know, maybe celebrate their uniqueness. So that's so the zebra, which is only just going to sort of make a comeback now into my sort of business logo and all that sort of thing. That's the wildness. So I thought, okay, same, but different. How do I change the I into a Y and make it my own? So that's the long-winded story of it.
Nice.
And just so that when people see the zebra, they know that they're unique.
Yeah.
They must celebrate their uniqueness. You don't want to be like anybody else, that you're your own person. And what makes you is beautiful.
So most of your clientele are women, or both men and women?
Oh, we got like some lovely men too.
Okay. So here's my question to you. Having worked with men and women, walking into your store, what do you notice are the common narratives that block people from owning fully their beauty, their freedom, their identity?
Well, I think this one stands out to me because this happened yesterday. And I showed a lady a few options for a dress, and she just said, oh, no, my husband won't like that. I'm not allowed to wear that. So I said, oh, okay, would he be, and, I'm in no position I just kind of go along with it. I'm like, oh, okay. So I'll show you a couple of other alternatives. So that's probably like one of the clearest ways where people don't feel they can be themselves. They either have to dress for other people, they have to dress within their cultural norms. And, Singapore's, a little bit different to other countries. I feel like expressing your creative self, your persona of who you really are. Like my friends would just be like, oh my God, you showed up with no pants on again.
I love it.
And they would never show up with no pants on. They would never show up without makeup or, dressed beautifully. I think in the store when people come in, they do tend to voice that a little bit. Like if they can't, oh no, I can't wear that to work. I have to wear, something a little bit more covered up or, I understand that. But I'm like, maybe try a few things that you can wear later on for a social. I can help you to style it for other occasions. So don't just buy one thing, because I'm trying to get people to help them have longevity in their clothes, or one outfit or one item, or this dress can be worn multiple occasions to multiple events, for travel, so trying to help them picture that. But try and get something that does say something about themselves, or my big word is comfortability. So comfortability.
So
you
it's
have to be
comfortable
comfortable.
Physically and also just identity-wise.
100%. Because if you're not comfortable, you're not going to go out in the world being comfortable with who you are.
Yeah. What's occurring to me right now as I'm listening to you is it's interesting as we bridge what you do and what I do is this idea of identity and stretching, right? So if right now I'm not comfortable metaphorically or literally with a specific outfit, it links to a specific identity. But the question is, what would I need to let go of? Or what part of my narrative would I need to invite in to have me stretch, right? And become
who I am, who I'm meant to be.
Who I am or who I'm meant to be, or
who you just want to be in that moment. Like my business slogan is live wild, live free, be who you want to be. And that doesn't have to be for past, present, or future. It can just be in that moment. Like who
experimentation,
you want to be.
right? Let's try it out.
Yeah, like with Halloween or any of these big events where we get to dress up, we get to really, put the fishnets on or put the crazy like vibrant makeup or the teeth or I'm like, do that in every day. Like if you feel like one day you want to wear fishnets and I don't know, high heels, go for it. Or you just want to wear, if you're in fishnets and high heels all day, wear sneakers and jeans or whatever you want. In that moment, just try and let go of societal norms, family judgment, friends' expectations, just,
How did you become like this? So what I mean is, as you were growing up, what were some of your sources of influence to have you become so creative? This is my sense of you, creative, an invitation for freedom, right? What influenced you?
I really don't know how to answer that question except for because I'm the most lucky, grateful person you'll probably ever meet. I always say I've given life on a silver platter because neither of my parents, my beautiful, beautiful mum and dad, are from the creative industries. Dad's sales, mum's teacher. There's not saying they're not creative, but they're like, I literally had to beg my dad at like year 9, year 10 to send me to fashion school. There was no like home influence there, I don't think. But for anyone who knows me well, and my mum will vouch for this, I've been obsessed with models, magazines, fashion my whole life. And I still have this is a point of contention with the entire family that I have still magazines that I cannot part with that I brought over here 15 years ago.
Like what?
Like my Vogues from like 19.
How cool is that?
99. Vogue 2000s, my Marie Claire's, but I have been obsessed, like my whole bookshelf, it's not even a bookshelf, it's a magazine shelf. And everybody cringes. My mum, she'll laugh her butt off and she'll be like, you're not bringing those back. What are we doing with those magazines? They got to go. Sorry, but you cannot bring them back to Australia. Like they're in the bin. But I think this is where it's like, that is my core. Like I've always loved, the beautiful big 5 supermodels. I've always been like, and it's funny when people say about the fashion industry, like everybody's so perfect, everyone's so skinny or whatever the narrative is. But what I loved about it was, like I saw Naomi Campbell, I saw, Linda Evangelista, all these like Claudia Schiffer, like, and what's that other one? Beautiful, not Richard Gere, is Cindy Crawford. Like that pack represented to me actually a variety of different women. Yes, okay, maybe they were all slender and gorgeous and whatever, but they represented different skin colors. And just for a backstory, I'm adopted, from the Philippines and raised white in Australia from birth. And so what that represented to me was like, even though I love fashion and everything, that all these women were different. They were very, very different. Their skin colors were different. Their heights were different. Their hair colors were different. So that's, I think, when people say, oh, fashion's not very versified, it is. And that was back then. I think it always has. I mean, I've been obsessed with like Kate Moss for my whole life. yeah. Sorry, I probably digress now.
No, this is so interesting because it links with this idea. I go back to narratives, right? And different people, as you're defining, have different backgrounds, different narratives, see the world differently. They may fit a certain template in what we're talking about, but the truth is, human beings are exactly like that, right? Wow. So, what are some of the challenges that you've come across, either in your standing for your passion or in running your business?
How long's the podcast?
One day.
One day?
One day. This will be the one day special.
So many challenges. I think, as I said, I've never even called myself an entrepreneur or a business owner. I think when people say, "Oh yeah, I'm a business owner," it really is about putting out fires every day, and those fires are the challenges. Like it could be, I make this mistake still, send the customer a wrong color of a bracelet, then I have to. I'm so sorry. Even small things like that. And having processes and systems, two big business words that I'm still coming to terms with, like so many challenges, they can be very minute to, I wrote a list down one day of all the things that the business does. And I have literally two businesses. I have a retail outlet where people can come and shop and try on and experience and have a chin wag and all that jazz and have a play. And then I run this full e-commerce business, which is so foreign to me, partly because I'm not a massive online shopper, but the challenges that has faced in what a business entails and how it runs and all of the things that you've got to think of. I think the biggest challenge is the overwhelm, is all of the things that need to be done. And even like 7 years in that I've had the physical store, so many things. I think it's looking at, what are the priorities? What needs to be done today? Like even like my list is 4,000 pages long. Is doing a podcast is that really a priority for me right now? Is that a priority for the business right now? Is me spending that time, like all of these things. Been off social media for a little while. Social media in itself is a behemoth within itself. E-commerce is a behemoth. A retail outlet is, on its own, a huge business. So each and every one of those things comes with a challenge. Then there's people, HR. I've worked with the most extraordinary people over the last 15 years. And it's just taking light and energy and beauty from them and how they've shaped the company. And I still work with, photographers, models, even content creators, still from this day. And I feel like that's just been also, when I look back at pictures and I look back at the journey and I'm like, oh my God, these people are still part of my journey. I love that. But I think the challenges are prioritizing what is important to the business in like the now.
What are you learning about yourself?
Oh, so many things.
Right? It's like never ending, isn't
it's
it?
never ending. Like like alignment, self-care, which is something that I preach to the peoples.
Yeah.
Like, are you taking care of yourself? Like I always, as people walk out of the store, I'm like, remember to hydrate. It's very hot out there because people come in sweating.
Yeah.
And so now I have water for them. I'm obsessed with this amazing soda water. Would you like a soda water? Do you want to cool down? People say, oh, I don't want to try because I'm all sticky. I'm like, oh, just come in and cool down and chill for a bit. But learning, I think life is a journey. But whatever we do, whatever career, whatever challenges we face, it's all part of the progress and the journey about learning about who we have been and then who do we want to be. I think that's...
And who do you want to be?
Well, I did write a few things. I probably need to look at my notes right now.
Look at your notes. And,
Look, I think-
while she's looking at her notes, just for those who are listening to this, it's a great question, no matter whether you're running your own business or whether you're not. You know, who do I want to be given where I am now? If I look back, I don't know, end of next year, what would be a version of myself when I look back that I'd be really proud of? We're not seeking perfection, right? We're looking for progress, right?
No perfection. Perfection does not exist, period. In anything, in relationships, career, business, there is no perfection. It's a messy, beautiful existence. And I think that people need to understand that about themselves and their lives, that, you know, don't chase that. Definitely don't chase that. It doesn't exist. Okay, I probably won't cry. But becoming a mom, I think, is the most extraordinary thing for me. So in terms of asking who I want to be, I just want to be a good mom. Yeah.
That's really beautiful. I'm just pausing because...
Yeah. I just want to be a really great mom, and my son is everything. So just kind of paving the way in terms of, like, you know, being kind, opening your heart. I just recently lost my beautiful dog of 11 years, and I've been trying to articulate this to people, and it is a message that I really want to get across, is that, you know, if you don't open your heart, or your home, you don't get to experience the joy, and that far outweighs the sadness and the grief and the sadness. So if you don't open your heart, you don't get to experience that. But yeah, I think being a good mom and showing my son, not even about business or anything like that. And, you know, he spent the whole day at work with me yesterday, last 2 Sundays. He understands the concept that mommy owns a business, but, you know, at the same time, just in day-to-day life, you know, even down to how I treat my auntie, how I treat, you know, people. I think kindness is such a big one. And if I leave the world and that's all I've left him, then
that's huge.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm sitting here listening to you, and I know we started in our planning of this podcast, it was, okay, we're going to talk to you as a business owner and how you grew your business. But what I'm getting is a human being, a woman, huge heart. And what's really landing for me is how much of a difference that you're committed to make, and your business feels like the platform for you to do that. Would that be accurate?
It's probably what I've learned in the last 2 weeks. And it's really driving me to turn my pain into purpose. And it's something that I've really wanted to do for such a long time, but I've struggled to articulate it. But now with my mate Chat, he's helping me out, sort out my brain, my thoughts, my creativity, and putting it all into nice, succinct words on Instagram or blogs or whatever, or even just talking about it. Pain into purpose.
I love that statement because I think, again, to the viewers or listeners to this, you know, just taking a look at yourselves, what are your struggles, right? How do you turn your struggles into, you call it purpose? How do I turn it and have, you know, for us in the coaching world, we call it coaching through our wounds. Or if I work with a lot of leaders, and it's like leading through our wounds, we become more accessible, we become more human. And this idea of leading, bringing the humanity to leading even is, for me, what really drives me. I love that.
That's cool.
Because, you know, the mantra, for those of you who know me, is when you're 100 years old, sitting on your rocking chair, you know, what's the life that you want to look back on and go, now that was worth it? Not like I killed myself at the workplace, but rather
You can still do that though.
You can do that if you want. If that rocks your boat, go for it.
Yeah.
But it's, what's the impact that I had? How did I turn my wounds or my pain into gifts or ways to impact other people? That for me is really important. And for me, just talking to you and experiencing you, you're like the role model for that. You're just totally human trying to make it work as a mom, as a woman, as a business owner, as a spouse. Love that.
Trying. And I think we just, I was brought up to have a go.
Yeah, have a go.
Have a try. My father's probably regretting that now. He's probably stop having a go. Because, recently, again, I'm so lucky. I'm so grateful. I've really had to reach out for help. And, I can see eye rolls. I can see, oh, here she goes. Or, but at the end of the day, I did have a go. And if I walk away, I've had a go.
No regrets.
No regrets.
Wow.
Or maybe one or two.
Or three.
Maybe three. There's a top three regrets in there.
So as we start to wrap this up, a question I have for you is, if you could give a message, if you could leave a message to those listening, maybe to the entrepreneurs in the audience, or just people who want to have a go, what do you want to? What's the message you'd like to leave?
For the entrepreneurs, for sure, like definitely have a go. Don't be afraid of having a go. But like if it's something that is, a creative side hustle, like keep it as a side hustle to begin with. Like if you've got a full-time job, instead of maybe binging on Netflix like I do, to escape, maybe pour that into your business idea. I always say to new people who are like, oh, how did you start? I'm like, just get a little notebook and call it Frank's Dreams or Frank's Mission or Frank's Business Ideas or whatever it is. And every time you think, oh, I know we're all digital now, sorry. So on your iPhone, on notes, however you take notes, or on chat or whatever, just write it all down, because you might not do it straight away, but you can always refer back to what you thought back in March, or what are we now? It's November. So you might not actually start your business or start your journey, your business journey, until maybe February next year, but you had the thoughts like right now. So don't let go of those. So write everything down, start journaling, or not even journaling, even just it's note taking. Basically anything that sparks your creativity, or how you want to make money, how you want to impact, how you want to do your business, just write it all down and keep it in one place, not on 14,000 notepads like I would. One place, just one, if you can help it, because then you can always refer back.
Thank you so much to Kara for joining us on the show. There's so many gems in our conversation, and I want to leave you with the idea of inventing yourself through so many different means, one of which is to write down your ideas, right? What's the version of you you'd like to see by the end of, fill in the blank? It could be the end of next year, for example, and just jot down some ideas that you are really passionate about or not. Just capture it so that when you come back to it in a week's time, a month's time, 2 months' time, that your ideas are captured. And as we discussed, that you either remember the energy of when you wrote it down, or the words themselves energize you. All right. On that note, thank you for joining us. See you on our next episode.